Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. My name is Lynette. Today we're going to talk about not getting stuck in the past. And by that, I was thinking about how some people go through things and you feel sorry for them for what they're experiencing. And every time you think about that person, you think about what they've gone through and how they're doing. And then you'll see them and they bounce back 100%. In fact, you're almost feeling worse than they did. So what happens is you're making their identity out of the hardship that they've gone through. But they're not doing that. And that is admirable because in life, things happen. And if we get stuck in what has happened to us, that does become our identity. And so the big picture is that we go through things. Life gives us good and bad. There's no getting around that. But when we do experience something bad, yes, we go through a period of mourning, but you need to take the lessons you've learned and move on. Personally, I've been guilty of knowing friends that have gone through something. And when I think about them, I feel so sorry. And I think, oh, I hope they're doing okay. And then I'll see them and they have bounced back 100%. And by the way, this is kind of negative to say, but the haters just hate that. They want you to be down and stay down. But bouncing back is the ultimate positivity in life. If you can go through experiences, any experience, and keep going. Sadly, I know people that have, well, especially one in particular, that was taken down by an unfortunate life experience, and they never bounced back from it. And so I think ultimately, if we learn that life just happens, good, bad, indifferent, happy, sad, every emotion we're going to experience, but it does get better and it does pass. And the main thing is that we don't get stuck in that period of time, because that is not who we are. That is not our identity. It is just a period of time and experience that has happened. I think when you're going through things like a breakup, a heartache, whatever it may be, it is definitely easy to wallow in it. And I believe that you come out of things faster when you have support around you, supportive family, supportive friends. But if you don't have that support, you've got to give it to yourself. You've got to know that this is just a period in time in your life. It's part of your life experience, part of your growing pains, part of learning a lesson. And I do realize some things are bigger than others. I get that, and I don't mean to minimize anything. But for the sake of this podcast, I'm talking about bumps in the roads that life offers us or gives us. We don't need to identify with it. We don't need to stay stuck in it. We have to have a good attitude and know it'll pass, and know that perhaps it saved us from making a wrong decision, a bad decision, because we don't know the future. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, but the universe knows. And if you have faith in God, you'll take those redirections with gratitude, which I know is hard to swallow at first. But just knowing that there's a reason for it, that there's something better out there for you. I think if you look at life in that way, it not only is a positive way to go through life, but I think it gets you through the healing process quicker. And this is why I'm so grateful, for one, that people are starting to say what they've gone through, because if we think everybody is living their best life 24/7, and we're the only ones that had any suffering. But now people are saying what they've gone through, what they're going through, and we are all the same. I know sometimes you feel like you're the only one that's going through this or that. And yes, the scenario may be different, but the emotions are the same. And again, we've talked about being selective with the people that you let into your life. Ultimately, a goal would be to have good, supportive friends in your life. But the important thing to know is that we do come out of it. Actually, we come out of it with flying colors. We come out of it with lessons learned. And if you don't take advantage of the lesson, it's almost like going to school and sitting there with headphones on the whole time and going through the motions of getting up early and being there and getting dressed to go, but not learning anything. So we don't want to go through life with headphones on. Just feel your experience, go through it, see it, hear it, and know that it's going to get better. And it will get better. Tomorrow is a new day. I think part of living your best life, being your best self, living in the present moment, all of it is learning these tools in how to experience life, because there are two ways to experience it. We can either do the negative or the positive. And experiencing life with all these positive tools, with the correct way to look at things, I think for one, you end up having more joy, more happiness, but you also heal quicker because you're going through things faster, because you know that there is an end in sight. All of these things that we've been talking about for months, and some of you have been with me for years, has always been a step-by-step process in, I'll use the term again, living your best life. And in doing so and practicing it and living it, maybe going over and over it, is a way to process things that a lot of people don't experience because it takes time. You have to work at it. And if you're a person that is willing to work at it, the benefits are enormous. Just the benefit of being a happy person is priceless. I mean, that's something money can't buy. I don't care what you have. You can't buy happiness. And the true happiness is internal. As I mentioned before, it's nice to have everything looking good externally. But if the inside isn't matched with it, it's kind of fruitless. So I think our main goal would be to have your internal line up the best that it can, mentally, physically, in every way. And to do that, we have to do our part. Not only work at thinking a specific way, work at using all these tools in our daily life until they become our norm, our walk. I know someone right now that really has a lot of serious physical issues, and when I see her, I forget, 100% forget. Not only does she look good, but she's always smiling. So when you get up and bounce back, people forget what you've gone through and they don't hold that identity towards you anymore. In other words, hypothetically, if you're a person that, say, a relationship doesn't work out and you walk around with your head down and depressed all the time, pretty soon people are going to put an identity on you to that situation because that's where you let life kind of stop. But you don't want to let life stop at any situation. You want to keep going. In fact, you don't want to let life stop at a good or bad situation because there's so much more to it. Every day is a new adventure. There's always another rung on the ladder. Can you imagine how tall that ladder is? Never ending. The sky is the limit. Everything you want is out there for you. And so long as you keep practicing all of this, you will continue to change until your old self is just that. It's an old part of you. It's like when you were young before you learned to walk and talk. This is the same way. It's a learning process. It's developing and becoming who you are. And you go through life with grace. Go through situations a bit faster. Even sometimes I see people on TV or well-known people, and they've gone through things, and I think, oh my gosh, this will get them down. Next thing you know, they're acting like it never happened, until pretty soon you forget it happened to them. They don't let it become their identity. So if you experience something, and usually we do, take the lesson from it, but keep practicing what we've talked about. Look at it as a lesson. Try not to let it control your thought pattern. Try to keep your mind clear and just know, without a doubt, it's going to be better, even though you haven't physically seen it yet. You've got to know. And that brings us back to walking in faith. A huge part of life is walking in faith. I mean, we don't wonder if we're going to get up tomorrow morning. We just do. We just have a knowing. And I think in life that knowing needs to flow over into not only the little things that we take for granted, but the big things as well. So as you walk in faith, as you walk in knowing everything is going to get better, the healing process is so much quicker, and you're able to go through things with so much grace and come out a better person for it. When something happens in your life that seems catastrophic, it is not the end of the road. It is a situation. It will pass. Life goes on, and you're going to be even that much better for it because you will have knowledge from what you just experienced. And it also gives you an opportunity to develop your faith in the outcome. And as you walk day by day in looking at situations that are unfavorable, as you walk and looking at them in this way, I believe, I think, and I know life will get so much easier because little things, even big things, won't get you down as much because you'll have that knowing that it's going to work out, and it will. Again, I don't want to undermine big things happening to people. I understand certain things are devastating, so I'm not even going to touch on that. But in general, life brings ups and downs. We can learn from it. We can walk in faith that it's going to get better. And we can even get excited for the better thing that it's going to bring us. I'm going to tell you a story. I wanted this house so bad that was for sale. And I would jog by it every day. Finally, somebody else purchased it. And so I was disappointed. I thought, oh, my opportunity to live on that street that I wanted it so bad. And then this other house came up. And the house that came up was pretty much a disaster. To say it was a fixer-upper would be a mild statement. However, it had potential. It had the layout. And so got that house, and it ended up being perfect in every way. Yes, we had to do a lot of improvements, but if you have the potential, then the improvements don't matter. In fact, it's kind of exciting because And this happens in life as well. The improvements you can make where they reflect who you are. The improvements are the way you wanted it, not the way somebody else wanted it. And that applies in life and in everything. So in losing the other house, I wouldn't have been near as happy. And I didn't know that this house was going to come up for sale. And it did, and I couldn't be happier about getting this house instead of the other one. So with that being said, as we go through life, go through with grace. Just know you're not alone. Things are happening to everybody, good, bad, and indifferent. The situations are different, the names are different, but the emotions are the same. So you're not alone in going through things. But go through it with a little brighter attitude. Go through it knowing, for one, that it's going to get better. And for two, it is to redirect you, because I believe there is something better for you out there. With that being said, God bless you. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.